Hello, everybody. My name is Mayra Galvez. I am joined by Dr. Terrel Miller and Ione Jones. We are home advocates with California Real Estate Consultants Group, and today we're going to be discussing the difference between origination points and discount points. Ione's going to give us a quick description of the difference between the two, and Ione's going to give us some examples of how we can apply it or who it can be applied to and how it can basically work. With that said, Ione, take it away.
All right, thank you, Mayra. So you often hear of the term points in real estate. Well, there are two types of points that we deal with. As Mayra said, origination points is the business term used to describe your loan, how your mortgage lender is paid. And that's through the origin of the start of your loan. Now, discount points, however, is totally different. Now, when you hear the term discount points are used to describe your ability or the buyer's ability to buy down to a lower interest rate by prepaying some of the interest. Now, if you are a person who is not able to get a lower interest rate at the start of your mortgage, this is a tool that you can use to pay upfront, but lower that interest rate. So I'm going to ask Dr. Miller to please give us an example of how this actually works real time.
Okay, thanks, Ione and Mayra. So the term points gets flung around and it gets very confusing, I think, just in general conversation. But as Ione mentioned, the origination points is basically the fee for the loan. And the discount points are the opportunity for the buyer to reduce the interest rate on their personal loan. And 1 point equals 1% of the loan. So if you have a $500,000 loan, 1 point would be $5,000. And so 1 point does not necessarily and rarely buys down the interest rate 1 full percentage point. It buys down 1/8 of a percent, 1/4 of a percent. Each lender is a little bit different, and the market that will drive it as well. So you have to get all of the information before you make that decision, because when it comes to it, there's a point where it doesn't make sense to pay the points. If you plan on holding the property for a long period of time, then it does, because now you're going to reduce the interest rate for the life of the loan. And then you're going to keep paying lower payments at a certain point. As an example, with our $500,000 loan and the 1 point, at some point you pay off that $500,000 and then you're ahead. And then that becomes to your advantage. The challenge is always A, can you afford it? And B, how long do you plan to stay in the house and keep the loan? Now, there's a lot of ways to get the discount points paid. Sometimes it can be paid by the borrower. Sometimes the seller's willing to pay the discount points. Sometimes family members or bosses are willing to pay the discount points to help their employees out. So it's such an individual decision with individual variables that it's so important to speak to someone. And we're more than happy to be that someone to help you clarify what is best for you. And because your situation is going to be different than your cousins or your nephews or what have you, and so it's really, really important to have a conversation with someone who will really get it clarified for you. And that's what we're here for. So our information is below. Feel free to contact us. We're more than happy to have a conversation with you, and it can be over the phone, on Zoom, in person, any way that's comfortable for you. And just remember that we are home advocates, and we're here to advocate for you.